Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Enzo.
I'm Kamal.
I'm Kim.
And tonight on the new party, we are going to talk about what everyone has been saying. If Mamdani was elected, that Sharia law is coming to NYC. What does that look like? What does that mean? We're going to break it down tonight, but shout out to everybody watching. We are taking and accepting members. Shout out to Heaven. Thank you so much, Heaven, for supporting us and becoming a member. But let's get in here. Yes.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. This first clip, it went viral, y'all. This is Stephen A. Smith going off on a tangent, and he got a lot of heat this week from a lot of liberals. Let's watch.
Why? I'm not happy about it. I like Mamdani. I'm looking forward to interviewing him. He's promised to be on this show. But I'm very, very concerned about some of the things that he said. I'm very concerned about what he once said about defunding the police. I'm calling 911. I'm being real with you. I'm calling 911. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to see less police officers. I want to see more police officers. I heard him talk about mental health experts in the subway system. I don't care about that. I want cops in the subways in New York City, where I was born and raised. Born in the Bronx, raised in Queens. That's what I want. I want to hear about no damn mental health experts in subways. Nah, I'm not trying to hear that, okay? 2% tax on the rich. Okay, fine. 11.5% capital gains tax. On its face, okay, fine. Free buses. Free grocery stores in each borough? Really? Really think that's going to work? Ladies and gentlemen, we're at a crossroads in this nation. And there's no way to slice it. And the level of vitriol that you see amongst the American citizen is because, God forbid, that you have a difference of opinion. It's not enough to agree. You know, people have to be disagreeable. And you have to be selfish if you're a person that's rich, that's making money, and you don't want to pay your fair share of taxes. Well, when you think about the billionaires in the state, in the city of New York, they make up about 48% in terms of the amount of taxes that they dole out compared to the average American, compared to the rest of New Yorkers. And if you're talking about raising their taxes while doing these other things, you're making New York unattractive, not just for residents, but for businesses. And if you make it unattractive for businesses and you don't, and you compromise the ability to be the capitalist that these people are, then they take their businesses elsewhere. So the money that they paid on their homes or in rent, they move out of the city or the state. Businesses follow. And ultimately the tax burden falls on to New Yorkers out there, which means that rent freezes, which is also something that Mamdani pushed. Is that really going to be plausible? Are you really going to be able to freeze rent? Or are you going to end up hiking it? Because you don't have enough people here to pay it. Tax revenue, where you getting that from? See, these are all the kind of things that we have to connect the dots and ask ourselves, 1 + 1, does it equal 2? Is it really plausible that these things are going to happen? According to Mayor Hochul, 90% of the stuff Mamdani said he can't do on his own. He got to come through her in a state legislature in order to get it done. Is he going to be able to do that? What level of support is he going to have outside of young whippersnappers out there who love him and are so in love with his personality and everything else that they didn't really dot the I's and cross the T's and look at actual policies and the kind of effect that's going to have on New Yorkers. That's what I'm worried about. I hope I'm wrong. Because talking to him, I liked him. I'm looking forward to sitting down and interviewing with him. I just want to know where the money coming from. See, I count. Okay? I count. And I can't tell you how many young teenagers,
God damn,
it could
he
be
mad.
daughters, it could be nieces and nephews, it could be friends and family members or relatives of folks along that age gap. And you're asking the same question. And you know what you come up with? The people who love Mamdani the most are not people who pay bills every day.
God damn.
I'm not saying that applies to everybody. I'm not applying that. But they certainly not people that pay bills every day all the time. You don't see business owners clamoring to support them. I'm just saying these things are important to bring up.
Okay, we're gonna allow the New Yorker, New Jerseyer, whatever he wants to call himself, the tri-state area, Italian Charlie Kirk himself. Enzo, we met in New York City. What do you think? Is it going to be the same New York if I come up there and see you again? Or are we going to be seeing Sharia law? And that is the poll question of the night. Is Mamdani going to bring Sharia law to New York City?
I honestly think so. I honestly think they're going to try to implement some type of form of Sharia law and turn New York City, the city that I hold dear and near to me, into a fucking shit show. I don't understand how New York City, the beacon of capitalism, the beacon of hope in the United States, of freedom in the United States, has elected somebody who is a socialist at the end of the day. Like, I am disgusted in New Yorkers that they allowed this to happen. All because they're throwing out the phrase free. And this is to the younger generation, the people who actually got out there and vote, because all the older ones are in Staten Island, and you see who they voted for unanimously, Cuomo in Staten Island. And everybody hates Cuomo. To see that Cuomo got 41% of the vote, even though New York hates him, really spoke volumes to me. And you can tell in New York City, as well as the other surrounding boroughs, this is pretty much the younger ones who just want everything handed to them. They want daddy government to give them everything. They don't want to work for anything. And I think it's ironic now. I really do, how Mamdani was like, yeah, don't give us donations. And now today comes out and say, you know, remember how I told you don't donate? Yeah, now we need the money. I thought you were going to give everything free to them, but now they got to pay for it? What's going to, like Stephen A said, when the rich get out of there, the burden is going to be on the middle class. And then when the burden's not on them, when they leave, it's going to be on poverty. It's going to fail. It happened in Seattle when they raised the corporate tax rate as well as capital gains tax. Amazon and Microsoft left. They left to the surrounding areas. We saw state-run grocery stores in Kansas as well as in Seattle too. It failed. It's not going to work here. You guys are going to screw yourselves and destroy your city. And then getting rid of the police and putting in place social workers. If a crackhead has a fucking blade to my neck, I don't want a social worker saying, we understand what you're going through. Let's try to talk this out. No, he's going to slit my throat. I want you to put 2 in his head. That's what I want. That's what New Yorkers want. New Yorkers want safety. We don't want this.
Well, I guess my title is striking a nerve tonight, but that's okay because y'all are watching. Dubai Light pro-trans Muslim bring in Sharia. You are clowns. And thank you, Kareem. We appreciate the support. But we're going to break it down because there is a why behind my question, and we have the facts to back it up. So whether you like it or not, it's in Dearborn, Michigan, and we'll play the clips. But anyways, I'm going to play this clip and let Kimberly get in there. This is what he said election night.
Built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
A very angry immigrant whose own mother says he doesn't identify as an American. I mean, I can I just spend a minute on this, because he's absolutely right. New York was built by immigrants. America was built by immigrants. But we have a difference now of immigrants. Listen to this from Teddy Roosevelt. There is no room in this country for hyphenated Americanism. When I refer to hyphenated Americans, I don't refer to naturalized Americans. Some of the very best Americans I've ever known were naturalized Americans, Americans born abroad. But hyphenated American is not an American at all. This is just as true of a man who puts native before the hyphen as a man who puts German or Irish or English or French before the hyphen. Americanism is a matter of the spirit and the soul. Our allegiance must be purely to the United States. We must unsparingly condemn any man who holds any other allegiance. Think about this. Think about this in what's happening with the Somali communities. Think about Minnesota. Think about Dearborn. Think about New York. Think about what's being said about and to immigrants today. If he is heartily and singly loyal to this republic, then no matter where he was born, he is just as good as an American as anyone else. The one absolute certain way of bringing this nation to ruin, of preventing all possibility of its continuing to be a nation at all, would be to permit it to become a tangle of squabbling nationalities, an intricate knot of German Americans, Irish Americans, English Americans, French Americans.
Kimberly, you agree with what he said? What's your thoughts? I mean, he going kind of hard there. You're muted there.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Okay, go out and come back in. I'm gonna let Kamal go next while you do that, because you might have to leave because we can't hear you, and I don't see she's muted though. She might have to restart. Okay, I'm gonna remove her. Yeah, Kamal, what do you think about what he said?
Man, him and Guy Fieri's uncle need to shut the fuck up. Talk about America was built by immigrants. What the hell is Mamdani talking about? Hello, my friend ass motherfucker. Get the F out of here with that bullshit. I'm tired of that narrative that America was built by immigrants. Man, that is straight bull malarkey. All right. And then I'm looking at it like this. If 50 Cent saying New York is dead and bro loves New York, then God damn it, New York might be dead after this bro got elected. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, it's gonna be interesting though. I can't wait to see what fucking happens, but it's gonna be real interesting. But that narrative that immigrants built New York, shut that bull jive up. And I think we really is in a simulation, right? Because I saw a clip of the real world Looney Tunes. I seen a coyote chasing an actual roadrunner, and now an immigrant is a mayor of New York. Where the fuck is Batman? God damn. Ain't he supposed to stop shit like this? Goodness gracious, man. I don't know. I think we in a simulation, y'all. I could be wrong though. Maya, what you think? We in a simulation?
Hold on, wait. It's Kimberly. Sorry, Kimberly. What you think?
Oh, my bad.
No, that's okay. Maya, go ahead and answer. You're muted.
You're muted.
The one time I mute myself to make sure I don't talk out of turn. It wouldn't surprise me if we are in a simulation. I mean, CERN over there in Switzerland be doing weird things. So it wouldn't shock me the first time they ran the hydrogen collider.
Yeah. I think we are in the beginning stages. We definitely are in the beginning stages of the Matrix, for sure. There's like a there's like a cross street coming up, and we're definitely headed towards the Matrix. Also, aliens are here. They're interdimensional beings. They don't come from the sky. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with an immigrant running a U.S. city. He is here legally. I believe he's a naturalized citizen. There's nothing wrong with being proud about being an immigrant. I think there's a lot of race baiting, and I'm not one to quickly pull out the race card, but you see it a lot with Mamdani. Glenn Greenwald did a really good video on this the other day. I highly recommend it. Glenn Greenwald is solid when it comes to this topic. Also, we don't have to tax work. We can tax wealth. There's a lot of wealth in New York, and the difference between taxing work and taxing wealth is that you can leave the city, but there's still be wealth there in the city that's enough to tax. And there's more than enough wealth to tax in the richest city, in the richest country of the world. And also, there's nothing wrong with socialism. It's not even that, he's not even that radical. He's like proposing free buses in the richest city, in the richest country in the world. A lot of very rich cities offer free transportation. That's not even that crazy. I think that, okay, because it's true the Democrats, and he's already placated the Democratic Party. At the end of the day, if you're running through the Democratic Party, I don't think I think he will be limited. I think, like with Bernie Sanders, a lot of the times people would criticize Bernie Sanders and say, but he really wouldn't be able to do anything, right? But there's such thing as political capital. He got more than half of the vote. They're smart. They know what they're doing, but they're also sheepdogs for the Democratic Party. So what is he really going to do? I would love to see it. I still think it's much better to have Mamdani as mayor of the city. I think that there is great benefit to social welfare programs. I think that there are too many people here that are way too rich. And what we are, well, I don't know what he's proposing, but when I think of like tax the rich, I think of like 1950s USA. We're not talking about communist China or the Soviet Union or Cuba. We're talking about like just like very basic economic populist tax the rich. They're way too fucking rich. Nobody needs to be that rich. There's absolutely no need to be that rich, and it could be done. And New York City is a city of immigrants. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being an immigrant. There's nothing wrong with being Muslim. He's not going to bring Sharia law. That is just a fear tactic that people use to divide us. And in the meantime, people who are being used as sheepdogs for the Democratic Party or blind sheep for the Republican Party are just honestly carrying water for the very, very rich at the expense of the working class.
Okay, well, Kimberly said that he's not going to bring Sharia law. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off this show right now. Let's take a look and see what life looks like in Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh, there they go, there they go. Long set up, long set up.
We're in Dearborn. This is the call of prayer that goes off 5 times a day here in the United States. Would you like to hear this blasting through your neighborhood? They don't have a choice of whether they hear this or not.
No, and we ain't getting no 7,000. I wish we was. And I'm also half Moroccan and a descendant of Muhammad. But let me tell you something. The United States is a Christian country, and I wouldn't want to live amongst that. Mia, what you think?
I mean, I definitely would not want to pay taxes for that. I mean, obviously we have the freedom of religion and everybody to practice, but generally, typically the religion is held in a religious house and it's quiet outside that religious house to give, equal playing field to all of them. So why do Muslims get to have the majority of the sounding board in Dearborn, Michigan? What about Christians and Catholics that live there, or Protestants, or even Mormons? Mormons might live there. Why is the city being overrun and taken over by them? Obviously, it's not every single Muslim or every single follower of Islam. I don't know if Mamdani is going to bring Sharia law. I don't think so. His wife isn't even a devout Muslim. I mean, she's in some pretty risque clothes. I don't really think he's going to influence. I don't think he's going to bring a Sharia law because he reminds me of like a very generic Muslim. His family, they're very generic Muslims. They're not followers. It'd be different if she was in a hijab and she was more devout, then I would say maybe. But a lot of these leaders in Dearborn, Michigan, even the women that are elected are in hijabs, and they appear to be very devout. Like, you look at them and you know they take that shit serious. You look at, you know, Zohran and his wife look like they smoke a little bit of pot, they eat some edibles, and they probably eat pork and don't tell nobody. I mean, they look like that. I'm sorry. They're probably have eaten edibles, eating some bacon, all right? Like, they don't look like they're devout, so I don't think he's going to usher in some Sharia law. Maybe if his wife was a little bit more Muslim, I would change my mind. But I mean, I don't think so. I think they're very like generic Muslim, more of like a bloodline. You know what I mean? More of like a bloodline than a practicing. I know plenty of Jewish people that have Christmas trees and stuff. You know what I mean? And that open gifts. They seem more like that than they are super devout.
Speaking.
Who do y'all think is more Muslim, Madani's wife or Brittany Renner?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I think Brittany Renner.
Damn.
She just retired from it after her and Kevin Gates broke up. She said she's not a Muslim anymore.
Well, then there you go. But that doesn't mean that he's not going to put certain things first, and that is the concern. And Enzo probably can explain it better, but Nelson says it best, and I'm going to play this clip. I watch council members in Dearborn say, if you don't accept it, you aren't welcome. And I actually have that clip, Nelson. So thank you for bringing that up, because again, that doesn't mean just because he's practicing doesn't mean certain things won't be institutional, put in like place. So let me play the clip. Yeah, let me play this clip. Hold on. Here we go.
Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city.
So, Gray, what is your thoughts on what he said? That's the mayor of Dearborn talking to a resident of Dearborn.
I feel like the mayor could have handled it better. He shouldn't have got so emotional. He could have said, these remarks can be seen as Islamophobic. You should not be saying this in a public setting, but I don't think you should be telling any of your constituents that you want them to leave the city, or you go have a parade once they leave. You're still supposed to have this person's best interests at heart, whether they don't agree with you or whether they are disgruntled or whatever. They pay taxes, they live there. So in that situation, I don't feel like the mayor handled that professionally.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to play this last clip and I'll have Enzo close us out on this topic. But this is what Dearborn, Michigan has come to, and people probably didn't think it was going to come there either.
What are some of the worst misconceptions about Dearborn that you think hurt folks that live here?
We're not a diverse city. We produce terrorists in the city. We are not Americans in the city, although we are as Americans could be. Makes me angry, makes me sad.
He didn't fucking say that.
Some people are being brainwashed.
In the heart of Dearborn, there's a thriving culture signifying someplace special, a community as well known for its delicious food as its rich history.
This is a 3 chicken with the whole chicken, okay?
At lunchtime, you're sure to find countless cafes and restaurants filled with people craving freshly made shawarma. Just one of many savory dishes attracting both locals and out-of-towners.
We've been here for well in excess of 100 years.
But Dearborn native Ron Amon remembers his city long before all the excitement.
I moved to the South End when I was 3 years old.
When the lure of a high-paying factory job was enough to attract thousands to the American dream of a better life.
What was it that originally brought people to live here in Dearborn and attracted them to this area?
Ford opened up the Ford Rouge complex in 1921, and he started paying this fantastic wage of $5 a day. One of the things that the old man, Henry, insisted upon was that you learn to speak English. You came to work in the morning, that first hour of work, you went to a class and learned how to speak English. And he actually got paid for it, too.
Arab American Muslims began embracing a new place with better schools for their children, a new life, and a chance to raise their families with a promise of a better tomorrow. Some kids grew up wanting to follow in their parents' footsteps with Ford Motor Company. Others, like Ron Amon, had a desire to take up public service, to break down barriers rooted in ignorance.
I was a police officer for 32 years. No, Dearborn does not operate under Sharia law. I served a combat tour of duty in Vietnam in 1967. I fought for this country.
Compared to the 50s, when 1,000 to 1,500 Arab Americans lived in Dearborn, now Dearborn's estimated population exceeds 103,000, with nearly 45% Arab Americans, most of whom are Muslim. While the city is home to the highest concentration of Arab people outside the Middle East, often people are unaware 55% of folks here are French Canadian, Italian, Polish, and of other backgrounds. Today, an iconic staple in Dearborn is Shatila Bakery. Amid all this goodness, baked fresh each day, there's a family story dating back nearly 4 decades.
Riyad Shatila, he's the one who made everything from scratch, and that's why they taste the way they do.
100-year-old recipes perfected originally by founder Riyad Shatila, who studied the art of fine pastry making in France and Lebanon. Since then, a new member of the Shatila family has emerged to keep the tradition going.
The American dream is working hard with passion and with purpose to be who you want to be.
Since her father's passing, Riyad's daughter Nada Shatila has taken over the reins of this world-class bakery, delivering a taste back home. She's also a shining example of being a proud Muslim American.
I feel like we're bringing the Middle East to people who haven't been exposed to it before. We have real ingredients, real everything, and the community also is a big reason that we're still successful to this day. We have a very diverse customer base. We were just limited to Dearborn, and now we're shipping worldwide, and people all over the U.S. are coming in to try our products.
Sissy Penniger from Taylor is also here for a special occasion.
Today is my sister's 60th birthday, and I'm having a dinner for her, and I came by Shatia to pick up desserts.
As in its beginning, the community remains committed to being diverse and inclusive to all, while working to be portrayed fairly beyond its borders.
My religion is something in my heart. I am an American first.
Wasim Mahfouz is the executive director of the nonprofit social services organization Leaders Advancing and Helping Communities. As a Muslim American immigrant from Lebanon, he sees Dearborn as a place staying true to its roots while continuing to grow like any other city.
We all come here seeking a better life and better opportunities.
How is Dearborn similar to so many other cities across Metro Detroit?
You have people from different ethnic backgrounds, white, Middle Easterns, Black, Europeans, etc. People who follow different religious beliefs, Muslims, Christians, Jewish. I mean, the moment you come to Dearborn,
Boy, this show's gonna come full circle tonight. Can't wait for the last segment. But Enzo, what is your thoughts on that clip? What is the future of New York City? And close us out why it all ties together and what the fares are for New Yorkers. Because boy, it's like I'm the most pro-Islamic person usually on the panel. Am I not, Enzo? Don't I get offended by stereotypes? However, America is America, but go ahead.
My whole thing with Mamdani getting elected is, and I've been called every name in the book because I've been talking about it all week now since he's been elected. How did we go from the city that we'll never forget to the city that we forgot? That's the one thing that I will keep echoing, and it's not because he's Muslim, not at all. It's because he platformed somebody who was a part of the 93 bombings of the World Trade Center. How do we elect that person? How do we elect that type of person who wants to take the capitalist capital of the United States and turn it socialist and drive all the money out? Like, I get it. Taxing the wealth. Everybody wants to tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. They're going to leave. We've tried this before. We've tried it. It's not going to work in America. And Kim, you brought up the 1950s. We had 4 recessions within 10 years by taxing the rich more. Then not going to work. New York is screwed. It's never going to be the same again after this. And I honestly feel so bad. And I'm sorry, it's going to blow up in their face. This is going to be demise. Like, you guys have your win now. You guys are going to have your win for 4 years. But once you start seeing the sky falling from the policies and effect that they're going to try to do these things, even if Kathy Hochul gets on board with this, because I guarantee she will, just to spite Trump. That's the type of Democrat that Kathy Hochul is. I mean, we're talking about the same Kathy Hochul that changed the laws so they can bring Donald Trump to court multiple times in New York City. They had to change multiple laws just to get a conviction on him. But it's sad in my eyes. It really is, to see the young generation of people in this country that, I'm just going to say it bluntly, they're stupid. People don't look into who they're voting for. They vote blue no matter who. They vote red no matter who. And that's what we're at in this country. Because I've seen plenty of videos of people walking around in New York City, questioning people who they asking people who they voted for mayor. They're like, oh, we voted for Mamdani. Oh, what was your favorite policy? Oh, what about this policy? Oh my God, I didn't know he was running on that. Or doing my lives every single day, going through people and talking to people that voted for him and asking them, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? I never knew he ran on that. I regret my vote now. People need to wake up and open their eyes and realize who you guys are putting into power, because it's not just going to screw you over. It's going to screw everybody over. It's going to screw the entire city over. Like, Wall Street is not going to be in New York anymore. NASDAQ just opened their headquarters in Texas. NASDAQ is moving out of New York. Like, what do you guys really think is going to happen if you raise the taxes? People are going to leave. That's what I'm going to keep echoing. It's going to screw the city over and put the lower class even lower. They're going to put them under, the people in poverty are going to be under the poverty line by the time this ends. This little pet experiment that the Democrats want to run.
Or it could be the biggest success in the world. We'll see. The future is bright. All right, guys.